everyone, back in the shed again. Good to do a YouTube video for a change. Yeah, off work today, so I thought I'd take the opportunity to do a bit of a 3D print video. I had a really good changeover of all the stuff in the shed, and managed to do a little bit more of a tidy up and work out a little work area that works better for me. Seems to be much better the way I've done it. What I've got is an electronics area, because I do a lot of soldering now, and an area for 3D printing, little area for computing, little area for arcade, and also an area to actually do what I should before is DIY. So I'm just going to give you a quick tour of the shed now, and show you what I've got planned and show you what I'm doing. Bit of an inspiration from a couple of people online that done a filament box, just to make it a little bit better when you're in the winter months where there's a little bit of moisture in the PLA. This sort of dry box, if you like, works wonders, and I've adjusted it to work better for me. I'm not sure how everyone else is doing it, but what I've actually done is got a couple of floating shelves, what they call floating shelves anyway, that I don't use anymore, that was in the loft. Made a sort of, not an enclosure as such, but an area that works really well when you're doing 3D printing. This isn't quite finished yet, I've got to tidy it all up and get it all moving properly. But as you can see, I've made a filament box. I'll turn the camera. And also the surround that I've made out of shelving, as you can see, sits around the 3D printer. Goes along, it's got the monitor above it, just monitoring prints and stuff, and then it goes all the way down around the back of the PC, and just sort of like encloses everything quite nicely, to be honest. Now what I've done with a filament box, probably people will say, oh no, it ain't that good, it doesn't work well. It actually does work really well. I've got all the different colours in there. As you can see, I've put PTFE sort of tubing through the boxes, and these little nuts were printed off of Thingiverse. I'll put the link in the comments or the description of the video. As you can see, that works wonders, that does. But what I've done, just to change it up a little bit, this one isn't finished yet, so I wanted to leave it so I could show you. This white filament that's being used by the printer at the moment, that will go through there, so that will be up there like that. And as you can see, these are all 3D printed as well. PTFE tube straight through the middle of it, comes straight underneath the shelf. PTFE tube inside that shelf because it's quite thick, all the way through. So this filament sliding through it really nicely. There's not any issues with it at all. Seems to work really well. Also had a little tidy up, soldering area nice and clean now. Stuff all ready to go. Everything labelled as it should be, mainly printer parts, as you can see. Sort of Bowden stuff and spare motherboards and stuff, power supplies, just all the various wiring and bits and pieces. And also the beloved retro machine sitting by it, which I fire up now and again, especially if I've got a long print going on. I tend to be in here for quite some time and let the print run, and it can get boring if you're waiting for a print to finish, so now and again I'll fire that up, have a game of Pac-Man or Bomb Jack or something along those lines. Yeah, and that really pretty much covers sort of what I've been up to really. I've had a good opportunity to get away from work for a day, so I thought I'd take the time to show you around the space. A couple of little prints that went wrong, so I've sort of cut them in half and put them on the wall. Another one down there, a couple of different prints I've done there, and all little bits and pieces up here as well that I've done over time. As I say, I only keep the ones that have come out sort of fairly perfect. There's a little Kerbal Spaceman falling down at the back there, over there. I think that's Jebediah for anyone that plays Kerbal Space Program. Yeah, as you can see, yeah, it's working very well. I've got these smaller reels in here that are actually a pain in the arse, to be honest. they don't seem to fit on anything properly, and don't work as well as they should. This one here I printed off a Thingiverse, which I thought was a really good idea. If you haven't got the room for the filament box, and you want something to sort of, for the filament to run on really well, I printed these two things out and put the, what do you call them, bearings between them. As you can see, the filament just sits on here, each end of it does, and that is so smooth. It actually extrudes it perfectly and pulls it into the hot end so nicely. You don't get any problems with that at all. So yeah, everything seems to be sort of working fairly well. Still the odd problem with the printer nut sometimes. I've got another problem now I've just seen where I need to level the bed where the prints are actually coming off a little bit or lifting up at the end. Once the bed's level and I'll sort it all out, it should be perfect. Anyway, just a quick video to let you know what I've been up to in the shed, and I'll speak to you soon. Cheers, bye.